The TikTok battle isn't just about an app, it's about billions of dollars and millions of users.
TikTok has stopped working in the United States.
So today, my AI assistant Tiara and I will break down TikTok's value to the US economy, why Trump is fighting for it so much, and how rival social platforms are going to absolutely pounce if it disappears. Tiara, where should we begin here?
Let's examine TikTok's ownership and valuation.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So, because, I don't really know if anyone is clear on all those details. So, TikTok, which is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance, boasts approximately 170 million active users in the US, and it's at the center of a really heated debate over national security concerns and free speech rights. So, in April of 2024, Congress, they had passed an act in the US Supreme Court requiring ByteDance to divest its interest in TikTok by January 19th, 2025, or it would face a nationwide ban. Now, TikTok appealed the decision, but the Supreme Court upheld this law on January 17th, 2025, and insisted that the app's extensive data collection from American users poses potential risks for surveillance and public influence campaigns. Now, ByteDance as a whole is valued at around $300 billion, and the TikTok's US operations alone are worth somewhere between $40 to $50 billion if it were to be sold today. In fact, TikTok generated around $16 billion from US users in 2023. Now, the looming ban has sparked intense debate about its potential impact on the social media landscape as a whole, which is quite important, and I'll make sure to cover that in depth a little bit later in the video here. So even though the app has, or was already technically banned by the Supreme Court's decision, the ban's implementation kind of remains uncertain, right? So on January 20th, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order granting TikTok a 75-day reprieve from the nationwide ban. Now, this order directs the Attorney General and the US Department of Justice to refrain from enforcing the act or imposing penalties during this period, which runs until April 5th of 2025. And the potential ban has prompted TikTok creators to, really urge their followers to find them on other platforms. Many are diversifying their presence across various social media sites to maintain their audience and, more importantly, their income streams. Now, a note to anyone that's impacted by this, the situation serves as a good reminder of just how fragile digital platforms can be and the importance of diversification for both creators and businesses in the social media ecosystem. Now, as a business owner myself, I've been screwed so many times because I didn't diversify my own following enough. So I do urge you to solve that problem if you have it. Also, I'd be an idiot if I didn't remind you to please subscribe to the channel right now so that I can hopefully support my family of 4 with it in the future and keep making videos like this and other videos that'll help you out.
I'm waiting.
Anyway, enough out of me. Tiara, what's next from here?
Let's discuss Trump's concerns.
Sure. So the push to control TikTok initially spearheaded during Trump's first term, and it has now evolved into a complex issue involving national security, data privacy, and geopolitical tension. Trump's original concerns centered on the potential for the Chinese government to access data on millions of American users, including teenagers and young adults, which could be used for coercion or manipulation. Now, the apprehension from Trump, it really stems from the fact that TikTok is owned by ByteDance. And the main fear behind that is everything is under China's 2017 National Intelligence Law. So ByteDance could be compelled to assist in intelligence gathering if requested by the Chinese government.
Dear Lord.
However, Trump's stance on TikTok has shifted dramatically since his re-election. So he recently questioned the significance of China potentially spying on young people watching entertaining videos. Now, this change in perspective has really led to speculation about the true nature of the national security threat and whether it has diminished over time. Now, personally, I don't see a whole lot of value in spying on kids' activities, but I can absolutely see why manipulation is a threat. So for instance, if TikTok continues to grow in popularity, it may end up being the #1 app that decides our next election, which is a scary thought, but it could happen. Now, this would be fine if it was under US law, but since it's under China's law, instead, you really never know if they would do something to sway public opinion to a more favorable candidate to further enrich their own country, which is definitely a possibility. Now, despite Trump's apparent change of heart, many lawmakers and security experts continue to view TikTok as a significant risk. And there are also fears that China could exploit TikTok's extensive user data and kind of manipulate its algorithm to target Americans with tailored content that really aligns with China's beliefs or interests. Now, this potential for influence really adds another layer to the national security argument and can end up creating extremism or even, unfortunately, domestic terrorism, which is a pretty scary thought if it went that far. But it is worth noting that these concerns are not unique to TikTok. So other other social media platforms and websites, they gather comparable data, and many of them will sell this data to data brokers. However, TikTok's Chinese ownership is just why it's under so much scrutiny. But enough about, background here, what's been going on. Let's discuss what's actually at stake. So, Tiara?
Let's get into the financial stakes of this whole deal.
Yeah, makes sense. So see, this is the bread and butter of the deal, in my opinion. So the potential sale of TikTok's US operations has sparked a high stakes bidding war with billions of dollars on the line. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but TikTok's US arm is worth somewhere between $40 to $50 billion. However, that valuation, it doesn't include TikTok's algorithm, which is really central to the app's success. Now, if the algorithm were included, the value could soar to as much as $300 billion by some estimates.
Which is ironic, considering half of TikTok's content consists of people lip-syncing to 10-year-old pop songs.
Get ready for this one.
Nobody wanna see us too.
Yeah, Tiara isn't wrong there. And side note, I have to say, I agree about the algorithm being worth so much. I've tried all the social media apps, and TikTok really finds a way to completely absorb your attention in a way that I've never seen before. In fact, I know it's so addicting that I won't even install it on my phone, as I had it for, I'd say, probably a few months, and I was just wasting way too much time on it. Now, President Trump has proposed a unique solution here, which would be a joint venture model resulting in a 50-50 ownership between ByteDance and a US entity. So this approach, it could potentially satisfy both ByteDance's desire to retain some control and the US government's security concerns. However, the details of such an arrangement, they're still, they remain really unclear, and they're still being fleshed out. So we'll have to see, if that actually works. Now, the negotiations for the app, they involve multiple players with varying interests, and the list of potential buyers is really star-studded. So Elon Musk, which is the world's richest individual at present, and the head of Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, has been floated as a possible candidate. Other names in the mix, they include Oracle chairman Larry Ellison, YouTube sensation Mr. Beast, and even a consortium that is dubbed the People's Bid, with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank fame as a main spokesperson. And so that we're all clear here, the outcome of this deal could really reshape the social media landscape entirely. If TikTok is banned or significantly altered, analysts predict that up to 85% of its US revenue could shift to rival platforms like Instagram and YouTube, which is obviously a lot of money. But now let's talk about the broader economic impact of TikTok in the US, okay? So if we consider a scenario where ByteDance retains 50% ownership through a joint venture valued at, let's just say, $40 billion, that would mean an immediate contribution of $20 billion to the US economy just from that stake alone. Of course, if TikTok were sold outright for its estimated value of $50 billion, that would contribute an additional $25 billion. But that's not all. So according to a report by Oxford Economics, TikTok contributed approximately $24.2 billion to the US GDP in 2023 and supported around 224,000 jobs. So this means that even a partial ownership stake would still provide substantial economic benefits through job creation and tax revenue. So Tiara, do you think that you'd be able to give me some estimates about just how much tax revenue TikTok could actually contribute if it was partly owned by the US?
Sure, I'll give it my best shot.
Sweet. Okay, we'll be right back.
Trying to level up your TikTok game?
All right, so according to Tiara, thank you, using conservative estimates, TikTok could potentially contribute around $7.08 billion in tax revenue annually. This figure combines approximately $4.84 billion from its GDP contribution and $2.24 billion from the jobs it supports, assuming a 20% tax rate. Now, these numbers, they highlight TikTok's role not just as a social media platform, but as a major economic driver, creating jobs, supporting businesses, and generating substantial tax revenue for the US government. The potential loss of TikTok's operations could therefore have far-reaching economic consequences beyond just the tech sector. In essence, TikTok is not just an app anymore, it's a significant economic engine for small businesses across the country. Its unique ability to connect consumers with products has really transformed how businesses market themselves, making it critical for their survival and growth in today's digital economy. So Tiara, what's next from here?
Let's talk about how other social media platforms will be affected.
Yeah, for sure. So this is crucial because, well, the fact that it disrupted the entire industry isn't taken lightly, okay? The deal is that TikTok, it commands a substantial share of the short form video market, and its fate could have far-reaching implications for both users and competitors. So if TikTok were to be sold or face a ban, Instagram and YouTube are going to benefit immensely. right? They have already begun enhancing their own short form video, which includes both Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts in anticipation of capturing TikTok's audience. So for instance, Instagram has already introduced new tools for creators, making it easier to produce engaging content that really mimics TikTok's format. And similarly, YouTube has been actively promoting its Shorts feature to attract creators who might seek alternatives to TikTok. But Mark Zuckerberg, he absolutely smells blood in the water.
And if history has taught us anything, it's that when Zuckerberg smells opportunity, your data is about to become someone else's dinner.
Yeah, that was actually kind of awesome. That was a good one, Tiara.
Was your data sold to the malicious third parties?
Yes.
It was.
But because of TikTok's situation, Zuck, he just took things with Instagram a step further, right? So right now, Instagram is actively courting TikTok creators by offering substantial financial incentives to encourage them to switch platforms completely. Now, reports indicate that Meta is providing deals worth up to $300,000 over 6 months for creators with significant followings on TikTok. Specifically, these contracts can pay creators between $2,500 and $50,000 per month, depending on their audience size and the exclusivity of the content that they produce for Instagram Reels. So for example, creators might earn $50,000 per month if they commit to posting at least 10 exclusive Reels monthly, with each video remaining on Instagram for 3 months before being shared elsewhere. Also, smaller platforms like Triller and Snapchat, they may see this as an opportunity to capture some of the TikTok's market share as well. So they could ramp up marketing efforts and enhance their features to appeal to those disaffected TikTok users that are looking for alternatives. Now, it's worth noting that if TikTok's US operations are sold to an American company, especially one that's not presently involved in social media, the dynamics of competition could change dramatically, right? A new owner might implement different policies regarding content moderation, advertising practices, and user engagement strategies, potentially altering the platform's appeal and the overall social media landscape as a whole. Now, this change could either attract more users or push them toward competing platforms, depending on how well the new management aligns with user expectations. But TikTok definitely isn't the only thing on Trump's mind at the moment, right? In fact, he's talked a lot about taking back the Panama Canal or even having Canada join the US. And if you want an in-depth look into either of these topics, check out either of these videos right here. But before you go, please make sure that you subscribe to unlock financial success one AI chat at a time. Thanks for watching.